Countries from Spain to Japan are pushing back against U.S. demands to spend more on their defense. Perhaps gambling that America's mighty military-industrial complex will keep siphoning hundreds of billions from you so they don't have to spend blood and treasure. For about a decade now, Donald Trump has been trying to get our so-called allies to pay for their own military instead of using America as an unpaid mercenary. Most of NATO just agreed to boost spending so Trump doesn't walk away from their deep state war factory, which they paired with a promise that Ukraine can join NATO so that war can be permanent. But some of these welfare queens are pushing back. Last week, Spain's left-wing government told Trump to pound sand on increasing defense spending, intoning that, quote, it is the legitimate right of every government to decide spending, and as a sovereign ally, we choose not to. Meanwhile, Japan just canceled an annual defense meeting with Secretary of Defense Hegseth over U.S. demands to spend more, with Japan's Prime Minister indignantly saying, quote, Japan decides its defense budget by itself, begging the question perhaps America should decide our military budget by ourselves. The pushback is understandable. After all, Spain is very far from Ukraine. Of course, America's even further from Ukraine. We got a big, beautiful Atlantic Ocean in the way, so it's not clear why we should be paying. As for Japan, Japanese voters have gotten so comfortable letting America pay for their defense for 80 years, there's actually a term for this in Japanese, heiwa baka, meaning peace stupid. As in, Japanese voters see war as some remote hypothetical from history books, whereas war is very much not a remote hypothetical for Americans, with 5.5 million disabled veterans, of whom roughly 400,000 are unable to work for life, forced to live on taxpayer benefits. On top of our spending nearly $1 trillion per year on military, which is nearly half our budget deficit. So rivers of blood and mountains of treasure, all to protect other people's countries from whomever they are starting wars with this week. So no, Japanese or European voters will not pay unless they're forced, because for them war is not real so long as America's paying and bleeding. In historical terms, it's all very strange. Usually the strong country makes the weak countries fight its wars. Instead, globe-striding Colossus America is paying, bleeding, and dying for random countries who then stab us in the back with trade barriers and UN treaties. Presumably, this is all down to the awesome political heft of America's war industry, who doesn't particularly care how the billions are spent so long as they are spent. So as next brought to you by Unchained.com, war is the best racket since central banking. Indeed, the two are linked since central banking prints the trillions, playing venture capitalists for wars. In the year before the Fed, America spent just 0.75% of GDP on military, so it's about $200 billion a year. Today, it's nearly 5 times that, so about $700 billion too much. In fact, we spend substantially more than supposed allies like South Korea or Taiwan, who are literally at war. Happily, if our allies won't play, it's a very easy fix. Bring our boys home. Maybe even put them on deportations. ICE could certainly use the backup in LA. Read the rest with charts and all the gory details at prophecylounge.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.